Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy 2025. You've probably seen a lot of videos, posts, and content about making this new year your year, how to set yourself up for success, all this kind of stuff. Or maybe you haven't, maybe this is your first video, and for that I thank you. But with that being said, I am gonna help you just work your way through making 2025 a year that you can feel proud of. A year that come December 31st, 2025, you can look back on and say, I accomplished everything that I set out to accomplish for myself. I am proud of the way that this year went. I am grateful for so many things, and you're gonna look back on it and feel really happy about it, or at least that's my goal. For this, I'm going to share 3 different tools that I use just in my day-to-day life, but especially at the beginning of the new year. I always go through this 3-step process, and it's actually tools that I continue to use throughout the entire year. So the 3 things that you're gonna have to have: 1, a planner. It can be a physical or a digital planner, whatever you prefer. Number 2, a vision board that you're gonna be creating. Again, also physical or digital, up to you. And number 3, a journal or something where you can write a few different journal prompts, goals, and things that are going to guide the planner and the vision board. So first things first, because we want to have a clear mind, we want to just go into it with focus and attention on our goals and our plans and our dreams. We're going to take out the planner, and you can have, like I said, a physical one or a digital one. I personally have the 2025 Goals Planner by Love Sweat Fitness. So Katie Dunlap is the founder of Love Sweat Fitness. And the first time that I bought this planner was, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe it was a little bit earlier than that, but I bought it, I believe, for like 2 years, and then she discontinued it, and then she brought it back this year. And the second that she announced that it was coming back, I put myself on that wait list and I bought it because I love this planner. Now, you don't need this planner. Like I said, you can have a different planner, or you can have a digital planner. I know Notion has some amazing planner templates, so it's totally up to you. But what I want you to do, because we want to clear our minds, I want you to go through and write down every birthday, anniversary, special date, trip, anything that you need to think of for this year. Put that down in your calendar, in your planner, so that you make sure that that's out of your mind and you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year. Because I know that I hate to wake up one day and realize that I forgot about somebody's birthday and I didn't send them a gift or a card or something. So we're gonna clear our minds from everything, and the way that I like to do it is I like to put it in the calendar at a glance portion of the planner, as well as the individual dates. So this planner particularly is a dated planner, so you can have the different dates there, but I also know that some people prefer undated planners. So totally up to you. Maybe you just have a little calendar somewhere where you can write down special dates that you don't want to forget, so that you can release that and not have to worry about it, because you're going to be reminded where you're looking at your planner or your calendar app or whatever it is that you're using. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to focus on the next step, which is a journal. Again, you can just have a blank notebook, you can have a blank piece of paper, a Word document, anything that you need and that you want to write. I personally prefer to do like handwritten journal prompts and goal setting, but you can also do it digitally, so totally up to you. The way that we're going to approach this is we're going to write down a few different prompts as well as goals that we're going to then use to create our vision board. So prompts that we want to journal on. I want you to start thinking and reflecting about 2024. So what went right in 2024? What were lessons learned in 2024? What are things that you want to leave behind in 2024? Obviously, like, I want to focus a lot of these prompts on being positive things, but it's also important for us to acknowledge where things may have gone wrong, or any sort of challenges that we experienced, or anything that we really just want to leave behind and forget about, and now bring that energy into 2025. Alternatively, because we also want to focus on some positive things, we're going to write down things that you're grateful for in 2024. So whether that's people or things that happened in 2024, lessons learned, anything that you want to think of, you know, when you look back at 2024 and you say, I'm grateful for this person, I'm grateful that this happened, I'm grateful that I learned XYZ, write down about that. And then once you've got that reflection on 2024, we're going to move into 2025. You'll be writing down about things that you want to take with you into 2025. Any lessons learned, any sort of positive things that you can take from last year, you're going to take that into 2025. How do you want to feel in 2025? What would your dream day look like in 2025? When you think of December 31st, 2025, and you think back into that whole year, what are the lessons that you want to learn? What are the skills that you want to practice? Who are the people that you want to have with you? How do you want to feel? What are some goals that you want to accomplish? And keep this prompt in mind, because it's actually going to come back to us once we do our vision board. I also want you to write, you know, what would make 2025 feel like it's your year, or like a year that you're very proud of. What does this new year represent for you? Is there something about 2025 that really scares you, or that you're really nervous about? And think a little bit further about that. What is something that would be considered the worst case scenario for this situation? How would you handle it? How would you overcome that adversity? What is really the worst thing that could happen, and how would you learn from it and grow from it? The reason why I want to think about this is because sometimes we go into the new year with some fears or things that are holding us back, and we just think that this is not going to happen again because XYZ, I don't know how to handle handle this situation. I can't do XYZ, all this kind of stuff. I want you to think about the worst case scenario and then talk yourself through it. Really, like, what would that actually mean? What truly would happen? Because a lot of times that's not what ends up happening. You know, a lot of times the worst case scenario never comes, luckily. But we also want to be prepared because we want to learn how to deal with things. And now lastly, I want you to choose a word for 2025. This is going to be the word that's going to set and dictate the intention for the year. Your word could be peace, it could be kindness, it could be self-love, or just love. My word of 2025 is actually courage. So the way that I think about this is everything that I do in 2025, I want to do it with courage. I want to be courageous enough to go after what I want. I want to be courageous enough to be myself. I want to be courageously, unapologetically myself. I want to have the courage to take risks. I want to have the courage to say yes to things that might scare me. I want to have the courage to say no to things that I don't want to do and really set those boundaries. So that is my word. But again, I want you to think as long as you need to come up with a word that you feel like is going to be the word that you can wake up every single morning and say, how am I going to be more of this thing today? What can I do today to challenge myself to live up to that word that I'm just really setting as an intention for this new year? Now that you've done all this journaling and you have all these prompts and you have this intention and this word of the year, I want you to then sit down and think about things specifically that you want to happen in 2025. I personally find that the best way to do this is to just divide things by category, just because it makes it easier for me to think about it. So think about career, relationships, financial, travel, personal, health, all those different categories, and then write down goals for each of those categories. No goal or dream is too big. I don't want you to think, you know, I want to be making XYZ amount of money by the end of the year, and then start to doubt yourself and then start to say, oh, but you know what, that seems like a lot of money. I don't know if I can actually do that. I don't know if this and that. No, we're not doing any of that here. We're gonna dream big, and we're not gonna let those limiting beliefs and that self-doubt stop us from thinking that we can actually accomplish what we're gonna do for this year. So again, take some time and really reflect on the things that you wanna work on this year and that you wanna manifest and that you wanna visualize and that you wanna have this year. So maybe you are single and you really wanna manifest a healthy relationship. What would that look like? You know, just write down what that man or woman would be like in your life. Maybe you want to buy a house. What would that house look like? How many rooms does it have? How many bathrooms does it have? Where is it located? What's the price tag? Get as specific and clear as you can. Health goals. I know for me personally, I really want to prioritize sleeping. So I got very clear about how many hours I'm going to be sleeping, my sleep schedule, what I'm going to be doing to be able to get that sleep. How many steps do you want to be walking per day? Do you want to be working out every day? What kind of workouts do you want to do? Think about all these things in great detail. Don't just say, I want to work out. Because yes, that's great, but the more specific that we can get, the better it's going to be. So you want to work out? Okay, how many days a week do you want to work out? Do you want to work out in the morning? Do you want to work out in the evening? Do you want to work out for 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour? Do you want to do Pilates? Do you want to do bar? Do you want to do strength training? Do you want to go running? Do you want to run for 5 kilometers? Do you want to run for 10 kilometers? Get as detailed and specific as you can about these goals. And once you write that down, you have all these goals, you have, you know, completed the journaling prompts, you're really in this space of thinking of 2025 and who you're going to be and how you're going to feel. I want you to go on Pinterest, and then on Pinterest you're going to be searching for images that make you feel like you are living that dream life. Think of your highest self, your best version, the person that you think, oh my god, if I could be this person, I would be the happiest in the world, because you can. And let me tell you, you don't have to wait until you accomplish something. You don't have to wait until you lose weight. You don't have to wait until you get a job or the dream job. Like, you don't have to wait until all those things happen to feel like you are your best version. You just have to start believing it. And I know this sounds so cliche, and I know you've probably heard this somewhere else. I get it. I also thought at first that it was so cheesy, so cliche. Why does everybody say the same thing? But then I started believing it and it started working. People are onto something, let me tell you. But again, I want you to think, okay, my dream version, my best version, my version that I am striving to be, works out every morning. She does Pilates, or he does Pilates. This version has 30 minutes a day that she or he dedicates to themselves. And when I look at images that make me think that way, this is what that represents. So it doesn't have to be a person working out particularly. It could just be somebody laying on a yoga mat. It could be a screenshot of an app or like a workout that you want to do. It could be a photo of a fitness studio. Anything that you think, you know, that you look at that image and you're like, wow, that makes me motivated to get up and go work out and go take my Pilates class, or that makes me feel like I'm accomplishing my health goals, that makes me feel like I am a better version of myself, that photo should make you feel something. So again, it's not just like a direct photo of something. Sometimes it could be, but sometimes that photo might not evoke the emotions that you want to have. I just emphasize on this because it's important for us to feel that way, for us to be able to have the things that we want. We need to, like I said, when we set these goals and we set all these things, we need to believe that it's actually possible for us. And the best way to do it is if we believe that we already have that. So again, I want you to just really look at those photos and pick the images that you see that you're like, that is exactly how I want to feel. When I see that image, I just feel giddy and excited and I feel like this is within reach. That's the image for you. Not the image that you look at and you say, wow, I wish I looked like that, or wow, I wish I had that. You know, like I don't want you to go into a lack feeling, which I know it's so hard. I'm trying so hard to explain this, but I feel like it's not always easy because sometimes wanting to be our best version and like an image that's going to represent that can also be an image that sometimes may trigger us. So just be very mindful of that and try to choose a photo that when you look at it, you don't feel bad about yourself, but rather you feel motivated and inspired. Now, once you've selected all of those, I also suggest getting quotes. So maybe you're really trying to manifest some financial abundance. So maybe you find a quote that just says, I'm financially abundant, or money flows through me. My biggest tip for when searching on Pinterest for these images is to search something like Pilates aesthetic or financial wellness aesthetic, because then what ends up showing up are images that reflect that feeling, that emotion. And then it becomes easier to visualize yourself and imagine yourself in that scenario, in that photo, rather than just like the photo itself. Okay, so you've got this. You've got the images, you've got the goals, you've written it all down. You're gonna either print it out if you're gonna be doing a physical vision board, or you're gonna be going on the digital route with something like Canva or another tool that you can use for that. And this is totally up to you. You have creative freedom of how you wanna organize the, vision board, how you wanna put in the photos, whatever aesthetic you look at that you're gonna be like, wow, I'm proud of this and I love how this looks and I feel like I can look at this image and really feel inspired to be that version of myself. That's what you're gonna do. As a little tip, if you wanna make sure that like your photo, because I do have the new iPhone and this has happened to me so many times. The new phone, like when you just put together like a photo in the, 16:9 ratio or 9:16 ratio, this top part ends up getting blurry. And so the specs that I found work to make sure that that doesn't happen is 1284 by 2778 pixels. Now, this is if you have the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I believe it also works on the 15 Pro Max and even like the 14 Pro Max because it was the same specs that I had for my previous phone, which was the 14 Pro Max. Not 100% sure what is for the other ones. You can Google like the right dimensions, but the other option is that you can save the image as a 9:16 ratio. And then you go into your phone and you're gonna go ahead and pretend to edit the photo, like you're gonna crop it. And when you go into the cropping settings, at the top right, you'll find this option to like select different sizes. So you can do original, freeform, square, wallpaper. You're gonna do wallpaper and choose that aspect ratio. And that's how it's gonna save as a wallpaper. So then you'll know what the right measurement is. Because if you scroll up, if you scroll up within that image, then it'll show up what the pixel size is. So then that way you'll know like, okay, this is the right dimension that I need to be using. Number by number, or like number X number, that one. That's how you'll know what specs you need to use for your phone. Okay, so you've got that. You can go ahead and download the image, you can put it on your phone, and there's your vision board. However, if you wanna take it 2 steps further, I've got 2 different things. Number 1, goals are best accomplished as, micro and macro goals. So you have the goals that you wrote are likely gonna be macro goals, right? The big things that you really wanna accomplish this year. What are little things that you can do for each goal to help you get to that goal? What are some micro goals that are going to, again, be those small steps that help you reach the big goal? And what you're gonna do is every month, you're gonna look back at those goals that you have for this year, and you're gonna think, what is a few things that I can do this month to get to these goals. So maybe, in your vision board, you're saying this summer, I want to go to the Amalfi Coast. Great, fantastic. Once, it's like June, July, August, you need to decide which one of those months are you going to really, really try to visualize this happening. So then for June, maybe you say, you know what, in July, I want to have this. So when I'm working on my July vision board in late June, I'm going to put the Amalfi Coast, like a photo that inspires me to go there and motivates me to go there and can help me manifest going there. I'm gonna put that as my July vision board. And so every single month, you're gonna basically break down this 2025 vision board into the micro goals and micro manifestations, visualizations that you want to have. It feels way less overwhelming when you can do it like that because you're not feeling, oh my God, I need to accomplish XYZ. But rather it's, like I want to make X amount of money by the end of the year. Maybe you're a business owner. So you say, okay, in August, I want to make this amount. In September, I want to make this amount. And then every single month you start breaking it down until you get to that total that you want it to at the beginning of the year. And so that's why every single month I actually create mini vision boards that are based on my 2025 or like my whole year vision board, and they represent little snippets of what I wanted in that whole board. It's totally optional. It is more work, but I do love to create vision boards. It's honestly like makes me so excited and so happy, so I just do it out of fun. But you don't have to, but it's just a great way to, you know, reinforce those goals, be reminded of them, and just again split them into smaller goals that make it easier to accomplish a large goal. Okay, then we're gonna think about that prompt about how we want to feel throughout 2025, and you know, looking back on December 31st, 2025, looking back at everything. So I want you to take all these goals that you wrote down, and I want you to envision yourself as if it was December 31st, 2025, and you're writing down all the things that happened in 2025 from a gratitude perspective. So you're gonna say things like, I am so grateful that I was able to buy my dream house that has 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a big yard. I am so grateful that I was able to get my dream job, or I was able to start my business, or my business is thriving and I made XYZ amount of money by the end of the year, or every month I made X amount. All of those things that you wrote down, I want you to, again, like write it down in a journal prompt as if you had them already and you were basically saying, I'm so grateful that this happened. With all the details, I want you to get super clear and detailed about what happened, how it worked for you. And again, this is so important to emphasize, but coming at it from a place of gratitude and just being so grateful because all of that came true. Have fun writing all of that down. Let everything that you're feeling come out. Just practice all that gratitude and joy because you have everything that you've always wanted. And if you need to, just look at that vision board and remember to get into those feelings and that excitement and the giddiness of, I have this, I am living that life, I am accomplishing everything that I want this year. And take as much time as you need to write this down. This is, again, like you just really want to block an afternoon for yourself, or a morning, whatever works best for you, to just really get in your feels and just manifest this version of you and this dream life that you've always wanted. And if doubt starts creeping in, just say, there's no room for that doubt. I am capable and I believe in myself, and I believe that it is possible for me to accomplish this dream. Because I know that it is so easy for doubt to creep in, or for you to sometimes downplay on the dreams that you want, or make them smaller because you think that it's too much. We're not doing that. We really are not going to play small. If you think that you can't make $200,000, you can. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I do believe that you have to just get into the mindset of somebody that can accomplish what they want. Will it happen? I really, really do hope it does. But the number one step is for you to believe that it will happen and that you have the tools and everything available to you to make that happen. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then doing this whole exercise is going to be just useless. Because if you really don't believe that you have it in you to make any of these things happen, then they might not happen. So again, self-doubt starts creeping in. If those limiting beliefs start creeping in, just think, no, there's no room for that in here. We're thinking positive, we're staying motivated, and we're believing and trusting the process. And I hope that all of this was helpful. I don't think any of the things that I just discussed are going to be, you know, super shocking. I feel like a lot of people that have talked about being able to manifest things have felt this way. And I know that I had to do a lot of work to just leave some of my self-doubt behind. And don't get me wrong, like there's still a lot of times and a lot of things that I'm writing down and I'm like, there's no way that's gonna happen for me. And then I have to stop and tell myself, why not? Why would it not happen to me? Or if I'm comparing myself to somebody else, instead of saying, oh, well, it's so easy for this person because of XYZ, I can say, no, if this person was able to make it happen, so can I. We weren't dealt for the same cards, sure, but there's no reason why I can't. And start looking at people as like an inspiration instead of just comparing yourself and feeling like you're not good enough. I always try to look at somebody else and say, if they could do it, then so can I. And again, this whole thing is just really about changing your mindset. If you change your mindset, you can change your life. So if you can get into the right mindset and really put together the goals and the dreams that you have from a right mindset, choose the images that put you in that mindset and journal like you already have everything and like you're so grateful for everything that happened to you, you're set. You really are gonna make 2025 your year. I know that this was a video that was slightly different from my usual. I do a lot of this vision boarding, goal setting, intention setting, journaling work. I do want to talk a little bit more about it in 2025. That's one of my goals. But I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this and also for being part of this channel and this community. I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions about this process or the journals, you know, like the journal prompts, the vision board process, anything like that that you want to know, just leave that in the comment section. If you already made your vision board, or if you know, are thinking of like different journal prompts or anything that you want to discuss, also leave that in the comment section. But I hope that this was helpful and I hope that this was inspiring for you. And I hope that you're now motivated to truly work on being your best version this new year. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.